Hello everyone, welcome to my Tuesday forecast. So let's get started. What do we have? Well, the euro hasn't broken the low or the high yet. We are still stuck in this range and I'm still waiting for the break of the low or the high. So what I can currently forecast is that we will actually continue to range, because this is a common characteristic of the EU pair. It just ranges between the low and the high for a really long time. And what I'm searching for is an impulse up and then a flag. Or impulse, pull back another impulse signaling a trend. Then get in on the break and retest. Maybe we get an ascending impulse down, look for a trade short. Or I would look for an impulse down and then a flag. Also I would look for a descending structure reversal and then a flag to go long. And if we do get a larger range right here, then we know that there are liquidity areas below right here and above. So we need to be really careful what happens in those liquidity areas. Do we just break into them and retrace? Or do we actually break with some conviction and get a continuation pattern? Or maybe get a small pullback and then continue with the trend? Very important to look for that, because the liquidity areas are often areas where the price just enters and then reverses, and where most retail traders get stopped out. Okay, so for EJ, we have finally broken out of this range. We have broken the low now, and looks like we are getting a really good close with actually a really small wick. That is a good sign. But what I'm searching for is another impulse. So this I know this can close good and then just retrace back and continue ranging. So what I would like to see is more of a push, another candle to give me some conviction, and then a flag or a pullback and then a break and retest trade. Or we can start to have a descending structure, reverse to the upside and then look for a trade long. We can just retrace straight from here and continue ranging as I mentioned previously. Or we can reverse and get a large push up, look for a continuation pattern. Or we can start to form an ascending, and if it turns out to be a clean ascending, I would look for an impulse down and then an opportunity to get short. Why does it need to be a clean ascending? Well, because look at the prior price action, very range bound, indecisive, huge wicks, huge gap right here. So I need to see some clean price action in order to look for any trades at this point. But a good sign is we have finally broken out of this range. We have now broken the low. We know that there is a clear liquidity area right here. So because we had a range, people are buying. On the smaller time frames, they have their stops in this area. So as I said, price can just break into it and retrace. Very important to look at the next candle after this one closes, how the next candle will turn out. Okay, so moving on. AU, Aussie and US dollar. Well, we broke the high and continued with the momentum. But then what happened? Well, we started to slow down. We broke the high retraced, broke the low retraced. Yeah, we broke the low retraced, broke the high retraced, broke the low retraced. So at this point, the market signaled to us a range. And because of that, I'm really careful when looking for, let's say, any long trades. Then we continued with the momentum, and the second candle, closed with a large wick. So currently what I'm seeing, well, I'm seeing a trend. I'm seeing this nice impulse up. I'm seeing a small range and price signaling a range, and I'm seeing a continuation of this impulse. But what I don't like, well, I don't like this large wick, because I know we can just retrace and have a V reversal. Then I will look for a small range, continuation, and then a flag, for example. But because of this large wick, I want to see more of a range. And then I would consider maybe taking a flag. Or I would consider maybe taking a corrective bullet this would be the entry point, this is that inside bar, but I need to see a range, especially because prior to this impulse the market signaled to us a range, so this is not really giving me that much conviction, to be honest. And currently I don't have an order set, and I'm not looking for just a quick flag. I want to see more of a range because of this wick, and even then I would be really careful, because this price action is okay and this is for me classified as a trend, but this is what concerns me, this part. So I need to see some really clean entries, and let's see what happens. What I can forecast is that we continue with the momentum. That would be really nice. I would then look for a flag, or we get a push, retest the most recent high, also would be really nice. Or we can start to form an ascending. Just a second. Start to form an ascending, reverse down, and look for a trade to the short side. Also, what can happen? Well, we can just start ranging, because the market prior did signal to us a range. Right here we got indication that maybe a larger range will happen, so that is possible and should be forecasted. As I said, we can get a V range, push down, look for a trade short, or we can get a large push, look for a trade short, or we can start to form a descending structure, look for a reversal and a long trade. So that's it for AU. Currently the market is giving me some warning signs, so I need to be more careful when looking for entries, but I am glad that we are starting to trend to the upside and that we have broken out of this. Well, I would say this was a range that we had here. Because of this huge gap, I really wanted to see what happens when we broke the high or the low, and we broke the high and continued, so that is a good sign for me. Last pair, AJ. So the Aussie and the Japanese yen, well, it broke the high, retraced, broke the high, retraced, broke the low, retraced, broke the high, retraced. And what do we know happens when we break the high, retrace, break the low, retrace? It usually signals a larger range, so that is what I am expecting. This to me is messy price action. It doesn't look good. I'm not looking for entries currently because, well, because of these wicks right here, because we broke the high, retraced, broke the low, retraced, and I know that I need to be a little bit more patient and a little bit more careful. Even if we do get a clean close right here, that still wouldn't be enough for me because of that prior price action, which is just signaling to me a range. So what I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for more of a push down, another candle to push down, and then a flag or a retest, whatever we get. Also, I'm looking for if we start to get a descending, reverse to the upside and look for a trade, or if we get a push, pull back, another push, break and retest. Very nice. I would really like that. Maybe we reverse to the upside, then I would also look for a flag, or if we get a push, pull back, another push, break and retest, also would take that. We can start to ascend from here, get more of this ascending, and to me that would be a good sign, because then we would have this smaller ascending structure inside of this larger ascending, and that is high probability to reverse to the downside. But as I said, currently signaling to me a range, so after we get this nice, if we get a nice clean close, I'm still sitting on my hands and being patient because of that prior price action. And yeah, that is it. So we are getting some moves, so the price has broken out of these ranges, and the gaps have been closed, which is a good sign. So I'm waiting to see if we start some trends, maybe tomorrow, maybe on Wednesday, because we know Mondays and Tuesdays are predominantly range bound, and I tend to be a little bit more patient on Mondays and Tuesdays. But let's see what Wednesday brings us, and that is it for the forecast, and I will see you in the next one.